The dollar store had crowns. You didn't know that. But we're going to receive one. Yeah, it'll work. It'll have to work. Right? What is that? It's a crown, of course. One of these days we will receive a crown from Him. When we get there, that's our reward. Have you ever thought before, though, some of the things you go through in this life, you think, a crown. I'm going through this and I receive a crown. What do I do with a crown? Is a crown really that valuable? Is a crown really, what am I going to do with a crown? Sometimes I've thought, because I've been going through some things in this life, and I think, what am I going to do? I don't care about a crown right now. Right. I mean, I'm going to be honest with you. I don't care about a crown. I receive a crown. What am I going to do with that? So today I want to talk to you about the value of this crown and what it means. That's right. Because there is a deeper meaning to this crown, and that's what I want to talk about. The crown is received from your story. I've heard some preachers preach that it's that dash mark on the tombstone. Have y'all ever heard that preached before? That your story and your life is what determines where you live in eternity. That determines, God looks at that dash mark. Your life is what that is. You have a begin and you have an end, and that dash is your story. Right. Mm-hmm. That's your story. The in-between is what I call it. The fine print, the details, the middle, however you want to say it, whatever you want to call it, it's that little dash mark. And that determines your reward. It not only determines where you spend eternity, but if you're a child of God, it says that you're reborn, you have a begin date, and you have an end date, an expiration date is what I call it. You have that. You have an expiration date, an appointed time to be with Him. It's that dash mark. The in-between. The in-between. Yeah. We're told on this Christian journey, this Christian life, God told me a beginning. He left out the details in the middle, but He told me that it'll be worth it all. He saved me, called me into the ministry. Like He said, He changed my life. He really messed up, kind of like Mary, He just messed up my plans. You know, He told Mary what she was going to name her boy, and He just messed up Mary's life. He really changed my plans. I had my own plans. I was going a different direction, had my own plans, and He turned things around. Yes. He told me to go into the ministry, and then He just said, the Bible, the Word of God says, hold tight to what you have, that crown. Hold tight to that crown. We're going to read it here in a minute in Revelation. Hold tight to it. And He told me the end. He just said it'll be worth it all. Go into the ministry. Hold tight to what you have. Don't let it go. And it'll be worth it after all. Yes. There's some things missing there in that dash. Some things missing. Similar to, you ever hear these commercials on TV about a medication? It'll say, this medication reduces fat. This medication rejuvenates the kidney. This medication will get rid of your cancer, will reduce the chances of cancer. This medication will stop a headache instantly. And then you have the details. You've got the fine print that the guy talks really fast and you can't understand him, and then the commercial cuts off. And I begin to go back and look at the side effects, the small print, the details, the dash, the middle, the in-between, and I begin to look at the small print, and it may rejuvenate my kidney, but it causes mild, unwanted, unpleasant effects, dry mouth, severe nausea, stomach pain, drowsiness, rash. eye twitching. And then it said some serious side effects occur. Loss of vision, kidney failure, birth defects, and death. So I was just like, do I really want to lose weight that bad? Or do I really, you kind of got to weigh your loss of vision, kidney failure, birth defects, and death may occur. Okay, well, I think I'll just keep going like I'm going, and we just won't worry about it. That's the fine print. The fine print is really important. You can buy juice at a store, and it'll say 100% fruit juice. You look at the ingredients, and it says, contains no fruit whatsoever. I'm just like, what? The details, the small print matters.
That's right. Yes, it does.
Have you ever been to Six Flags before? You go to Six Flags, sometimes you'll walk in this building, and you will see these people that have their shirt tucked in, their hair combed to the side, smiling, nice looking couple. They get on this ride, and you're standing in line waiting on your turn. They go, whew. They come back around. When they come in, they've got throw up on them. Their hair sticking straight up. Their shirts over their head. And you're thinking, what happened?
Yeah.
There's something missing here. There's some details left out, because when they left, they were happy. And they come back and they're dizzy and throwing up. What's going on? Something, I missed it, because now I'm thinking maybe I don't want to ride this ride. Some things were left out. Some details are left out. Those details are important. In Genesis 12, we're not going to go there. I just want to tell you a little bit about Abraham. Abraham got the first part. The first part of Abraham, God just told him, he said, we're going to go on a trip, Abraham. We're going to go on a journey. It's going to be fun. We're going to go on a trip. We're going to go on this trip. And you're going to be the end of it, the father of many nations. A huge dash there.
That's right.
A lot's left out. We're going to go on a trip. We're going to have fun. And you're going to be the father of many nations, the beginning and the end. But God failed to tell him the details. That's Abraham, right. Your dad is going to die while you're on this journey. You're going to lose all your money and all your wealth on this journey. Oh, I forgot to tell you, you're going to have to live in a tent.
Yeah.
And one of your friends named Lot is going to turn his back on you and stab you in the back. Oh, and I forgot to tell you this part. The son that you were promised, you're going to have to kill him to prove your love for me.
Right.
Oh, yeah, but you're not going to have to kill him. You're just going to have to get to that point where you draw the knife back and you almost kill him. But I'm going to, at the very last, I'm going to say don't. He forgot to leave all that out. And then I begin to look at Joseph's life. Joseph's life, he gets the first part. Joseph, God said, your brothers are going to bow down to you. The sun, moon, and stars is going to bow down to you. One day, you will be a huge influence and extremely powerful one day. And the entire people around you will bow down to you. Yes. He got the beginning. One day your brothers are going to bow down to you. The sun, moon, and the stars. He got the end. Yes. One day you're going to be extremely influential and everybody's going to bow down to you. But, I forgot to tell you that your brothers will throw you out in the wilderness to die. You're going to be a slave at some point. You're going to go to Potiphar's house and go to jail for 17 years, but you're going to be innocent. Joseph got the first part and the last part, but the details were left out.
Oh, that's right.
The details were left out.
Yes.
Same as me. He called me into the ministry. He told me to hold tight to my crown, and it'll be worth it all. He didn't tell me my mom would die with a massive heart attack. He forgot to tell me that I would have a divorce. that I'd come close to dying with cancer. He left that out.
Yeah.
That I would struggle financially. He left out the part that, oh, by the way, once you get over that cancer, you're going to have another tumor.
Sure.
He left that part out.
Yeah.
You're going to have a lot of depression and doubt and heartache and addiction. A lot of people's going to turn their back on you.
Oh, come on.
They're going to stab you in the back. They're going to talk about you.
Yeah.
You're going to lose a lot of friends. You're going to bury your dad way too soon. You're going to be alone. He left that out.
Right.
So he calls me into the ministry. He's left out a lot of details.
Right.
All I've got is hold tight to the ground
Oh, yes.
that he gives me. Hold tight to that because it's going to be worth it after all. That's all I got.
Yes.
That's all I got. So sometimes, that's what I'm talking about. Sometimes I wonder, really? A crown? That's great. I mean, I appreciate that. I really do. I appreciate this crown that you're going to give me, but it's kind of hard for me to see that it's going to be worth it after all, because I don't know what good this crown's going to do. I don't know what value this crown holds, because I'm depressed. I'm hurting. I don't have any money. I'm divorced. I'm alone. I've got cancer. All these things going through my mind, you know, everything but my mother and the divorce happened after I was saved. I was called into the ministry, cancer, another tumor. I went through all that, called into the ministry.
Right.
So I began to question a lot of things, a lot of doubt, a lot of things. 1 Corinthians 3 and 13. If you'll go with me there just for a minute. We're going to kind of go everywhere. We're going to go to 1 Corinthians 3 and verse number 13, and then we're going to go to Revelation. First Corinthians 3, verse number 13 through 15 says, every man's work shall be made manifest, for the day shall declare it, because it shall be revealed by fire. That's what you're going through, the fire. And the fire shall try every man's work of what sort it is. You're being tried. If any man's work abide which he has built thereupon, he shall receive a reward. I've read that many times. Going through a lot of things, I'm going to get a reward for this. If any man's work shall be burned, he shall suffer loss. But he himself shall be saved, yet so as by fire. It don't matter what you go through. You're going to go through life. A lot of things are going to happen. But in the end, you shall be saved.
That's right.
Even though you've gone through the fire. Go with me to Revelation 3. You know, in Revelation, I see that in Genesis, Satan was a snake. In Revelation, he is a dragon. Somebody's been feeding him.
Oh, that's good.
Right? Somebody's been feeding him. He's a dragon in Revelation. He was a snake in Genesis.
Yeah.
Somebody's been feeding him.
Oh, that's good.
He's on top of his game, let me tell you. Revelation 3 and verse number 11. Behold, I come quickly. Hold that fast which thou hast, that no man take thy crown. Hold on to that crown. I've read that many times. Hold on to that crown. Why is it so important? Because you read in Revelation 4 and 4 that when John is called up to heaven in the rapture of the church, one of the things he sees, he says in verse number 4, round about the throne were 24 seats, and upon the seats I saw 24 elders sitting, clothed in white raiment, and they had on their heads crowns of gold. You know, there was a time in my life I thought, this crown and this stuff sitting around the throne, and I just don't know about all this. I don't know what it's worth to me. I don't know what this is worth to me. You go to verse number 10, And it says, the 24 elders fall down before him that sat on the throne and worship him that liveth forever and ever, and cast their crowns before the throne, saying, Thou art worthy, O Lord, to receive glory and honor and power. So apparently, we just received the crown. Maybe he crowns us for a moment on our head. Maybe we just hold it. I'm not quite certain. We don't even get to keep the crown.
Right.
So we get the crown. We have our reward, but we don't really keep. We just walk around and hold the crown. That's all we really do. We just walk around and hold the crown. And then when time comes, we cast the crown at his feet, lay the crown at his feet. It's just we go through all this for the crown.
Huh.
That is a good crown, Cindy. You made it in the parking lot, didn't you? All right. Anyway. Exactly what I was thinking. What good does this do me here? What good does this do me? Because one day, it'll be worth it all.
Yes.
One day, if we don't wear it, we're going to hold it.
Yes.
We're told there's many different kinds of crowns. Those who win souls have a crown. There's 5 different crowns the Bible talks about. Those who endure sickness, pain, all that wondering about, am I going to live? Am I going to die? When you stand firm in that, through it all, and you praise him, you have that crown. Some won't have a crown. They didn't endure. They didn't hold fast to it. They let it go.
That's right.
You were saved. You were called to do something, and you let your crown go. You didn't hold fast to it. I got to thinking about this really deep, and it says he's the Lord of lords and the King of kings. The King of kings meant something to me because kings only have a crown if they conquered something.
Right.
In this day, when David would conquer a city, first thing he would do after he would conquer that city, he would go into the king's place.
That's right.
And he would take the crown.
That's right.
He would take the crown and he would put it on his head. He'd go and conquer another city. He would go into that king of that city and he would take his crown and put it on his head. So David had a few crowns. You only get a crown if you're a king. The Bible calls you, once you've been saved, we are kings and priests. You only get a crown if you're a king.
That's right. Yeah.
You only get a crown if you're a king. Kings have a crown if they've conquered something. Do you see what I'm saying? Your reward, your crown means that you have conquered the battle that you're in. That's the value of your crown. That crown means you've won the battle. You've overcome.
Oh, yes.
I look at Crystal. I thought about Crystal. You're overcoming the battle that you're in.
Yes.
We're all in this battle.
Yes.
We're in this battle. You only receive a crown and put it on your head.
Yes. Yes.
When you conquered that battle that you're in.
Amen.
He is the King of all kings. He's not the king of everyone. He's the King of kings. He's the Savior of everyone.
That's right.
He's the King of kings. Those who have a crown on. He's the King of kings. He's your King.
That's good.
Those who have conquered and overcome this life.
Oh, that's good.
Those who have overcome this life is who he's the king of.
Yeah.
He's the King of kings. Some of you don't have a crown. You haven't received your crown. You haven't accepted Jesus. Some of you are not soul winners. Some of you are not enduring your sickness. Some of you are not overcoming. You don't have a crown. You didn't hold fast to your crown.
Yes, yes.
He's not your king. He is the King of kings. Kings have crowns.
Yes.
Kings have crowns. Those who are overcoming is who he's a king of.
Yes. That's good.
You're going to get a crown for going through things. What you're going through and not giving up in this life. That's holding fast to your crown that we just read. Yeah. Holding fast to it. Revelation 19, really quick. I'm not going to be much longer. Revelation 19 and verse number 12. His eyes were as a flame of fire, and on his head were many crowns. Have you ever read that and thought, what is he doing with many crowns on his head? Right. Those crowns, all these battles that you have conquered and these crowns that are on your head, you know you can get more than one crown. You can have multiple crowns. You can be a soul winner. You can endure your sickness. Yes. You can be faithful.
Yes.
All of these are crowns that you will receive. You take these crowns and you lay at his feet. What does he do with them? It says he puts them on his head. Yes. You lay them at his feet. One thing I've never wanted to do is be up there and everybody else have a crown. I'm not saying you won't go to heaven. Maybe you get saved on your deathbed and you don't have time to work for Jesus. You don't have time. You haven't been a soul winner. You haven't done anything for Jesus, but you've made it to heaven. One thing I don't want to do is just, what would I do if I stood at the feet of Jesus after I get there and all he's done for me, and I just say, yeah, you saved me, but yeah, you saved me. I just wanted to say thank you for that. Thank you for saving me. I didn't really do anything for you. Thank you for saving me. I don't want to do that. I want to have an armload. Yes. So the value of this crown is on that day. It will be worth it after all. You walk up to him and you begin to lay your crowns at his feet. And you know what he does? It said he puts them on his head. His eyes were as flame of fire, and on his head were many crowns. And he had a name written that no man knew but he himself. And he was clothed with a vesture dipped in blood. Yes. The ironic thing is, his vesture is dipped in blood, and ours is white as snow. Something's wrong here.
That's right.
You see what I'm saying? He's the one dirty, dipped in blood, and we are the ones with the white robes on. See what he's done? Right. What he's done for us. And his name is called the Word of God. And the armies which were in heaven, us, we've given him our crowns, laid them at his feet. He puts many crowns on his head, followed him upon the white horses, clothed in white linen, white and clean, and out of his mouth. This is when he comes back to earth. He parades your victory and what you have conquered. He parades that on his head in front of Satan and everybody.
That's right.
He comes back and parades it in front of Satan and everyone, what he did through you. No, we're not wearing the crowns. We're wearing a white robe and we're with him. It said on his head is many crowns. Yes. I want to have an armload to lay at his feet. I cannot stand the thought of standing up there before him. That's good. And just saying, I just come here. I don't have anything. I didn't do nothing. I just come here empty-handed. I just showed up. And you have people standing around with, wheelbarrows maybe. Bags full. Maybe some with one or two. I want a crown. Yes. If it's one, I want a crown to give him. Yes. I want a crown to lay at his feet on that day. Yes. That's the value of a crown. The value of a crown is your victory. That's right. How much have you overcome in your life since you've known Jesus? I look around, man, do I see some battles that people have overcome. Right. For one, you wouldn't be here if you hadn't overcome some battles.
That's right.
But I look around, I remember when my friend Hope was sick, really sick. She overcome that. I don't ever remember her getting mad at God and saying, forget this.
Thank God. Thank you, Jesus.
She'll have a crown for enduring a sickness.
Thank you, Jesus.
And exalting Him. Keep pressing on. Don't let Satan steal your crown. Why does he want your crown? Why does Satan want your crown? Some of you are in the middle of your battle right now. You're in the middle of it right now, and you've got to hold tight to that crown. Hold tight. Don't give up. Don't tell me Satan's not real, because he's telling some of you right now, this is the silliest thing I've ever heard. I'm not coming up there. I'm not going through this for a crown. What good is this? I'm not standing before Him empty-handed. I'm not going to do it.
That's right.
I'm not going to do it. Nobody can tell me Satan is not real.
That's right.
He is real.
Yes, He is.
He is real. If you're here today and you're going through something and you're about to give up, I would like to pray for you.
Yes.
If you're not even in the race, period, and you have never had a crown whatsoever, you have never accepted Jesus, you're not even in the race, period. Now would be a good day to start.
Yes, it would.
It would be a good day to start because of what He has done for you. He told me, He said, I give my life for you. Give me the rest of your days.
Yes.
He left out a lot of details. But it'll be worth it after all.
Yes.
I cannot wait till He takes all of this I've overcome and parades it in front of Satan and the rest of this world, my enemies, whoever else. I cannot wait till He parades it in front of them.
Amen.
If you're here this morning and you don't know Jesus, get in this race with us.
Yes.
He is the King of kings.
Yes, He is.
Kings are those that have overcome things, conquered things in His name.
That's right.
The King of all kings, the Lord of lords.
Yeah.
You know, today's one of these days that I usually would almost beg people. But today it seems so insignificant to have to beg anyone to come up after what He's done.
That's right.
After what He has done, He hasn't begged me to stay in this race. He just said, you're called in the ministry, hold on tight, it'll be worth it after all. That's all you got. That's all you got.
Yes.
You have a church family, Jesus. If you're going through something and you don't have Him, I have no idea how you make it.
That's right.
No idea how you make it.
That's right.
If you don't know Jesus this morning, I want to pray with you.
Yes.
If you're going through something and you're about to give up, I want to pray for you.
Yes.
If you don't see the value of a crown, I want to pray for you. If you're depressed, I want to pray with you. You know, at this point, I look out and I would love to see any and everyone just come to this altar and begin to pray this morning.
Yes.
Pray for yourself.
Yes.
If you don't have anything to pray for me. I will always take your prayers.
Yes.
Pray for me. I would encourage everyone this morning to come up here. You know, sometimes we just need to tarry. I don't know if you know what that means or not.